So many scammers came out of the woodwork for these. I have finally started to list items on Facebook Marketplace. These are some rather big photography lights or stage lights. They do work. I do believe they are vintage as well. It's A.S. Smith Victor. I plug them in and they do work. It's pretty interesting. I have had these up in my emporium for like a year, I think maybe a year and a half, and wasn't listing them because I was like, oh man, I just don't want to ship them. I do see people selling them on eBay and shipping them. They do fold flat in terms of the legs are all adjustable and they fold flat, and you can actually take these off the stand, so you could get them into a much smaller box. And it's not that I couldn't ship them, it's just that I just didn't want to, and the shipping is going to be so high for these. So I decided to list these up on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to go back up into my emporium and I'm going to grab a couple more items that are big and bulky that, although I could sell them on eBay, I'm going to sell them as local pickup. And if they don't sell that way, I can always put the option of shipping on Facebook Marketplace, which is ironic because then I'm back to shipping them. But I'm hoping that I sell these locally. I listed these up for $175 for the pair, and when I sell them, I'll tell you how much I got for them, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about them. Here is my second item. As you can see, it's fairly large. This F&M is a Fordham and Mason. It is a wicker picnic basket. It's lidded with the straps to close it. These are made in England, and on eBay there are lots of these, but the shipping from England is really, really high. So I found this locally and I am listing it on Facebook Marketplace for local pickup. I listed it for $65. I know I said I wasn't going to do listing videos, but I thought this is a little bit different because I'm using a platform that I have not used in forever. I used to list things all the time up on the Facebook yard sale sites. Do you guys remember those? They're still around. I'm still members of many of them, and I don't really follow them or do anything with that. And then Facebook Marketplace came out, and I just never listed anything to it. Yet my friends, family, like other resellers I know, they sell all the time on this platform. So it's about time that I got on it. So now I'm going to have to change my intro on some of my videos to say that I sell on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, and now Facebook Marketplace. There is something addicting about listing on Facebook Marketplace. I immediately ran upstairs and was like, what else can I put up there? I've listed so many things on other platforms that take me so long, mostly because there's so many fields to fill out and things to check, and you have to do all the shipping and things. I think that's why it's a little bit easier if you're doing local pickup. So I decided to grab this Michigan State University vintage mug for local pickup. Why not? So I listed that for $15. As I was listing this item, I started to get a lot of questions on my first item that I listed, which is right over here. These lamps, these vintage lamps. The first message I got was just a regular person, is it available? Which I know is an automated message when someone accidentally clicks on it. So I kind of ignored that. Then I got a second message, and that person, though, right away, they wanted to know my cell phone so they could get a hold of me. And I'm like, oh, that is a scam all day long. Never give out your cell phone message, especially because they're already messaging you through Facebook Messenger. Why do they need to text you or call you? So I basically just said no. Then they sent another message, and this one was in very kind of broken English, and it was like, I sell you. And I was like, sell you as in a cell phone, CELL. And I'm like, wow, this is really a scam. So I just kind of ignored it. When I came back, all the conversations were deleted and gone. So I also deleted the conversation. Scammers, the first time you put anything up on Facebook Marketplace, they come out of the woodwork. I don't even know how they know. How do they know when you post to something so quickly? Now, the second person that, was actually the first person, I finally got back to that person, and I think these might be getting picked up in a few hours. I will let you know. I will record that as well. Look at these fun items. I am taking all the pictures outside because these are large items and would be hard for me to take pictures up in my emporium the way I have things currently set up. And I figured, well, I'm selling these on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not going to be too picky about how I photograph these. So these vintage Chinese checkerboards, I am selling them for $80, or I listed them for $80. We'll see what they actually sell for, because I know sometimes people like to make you offers on that platform. And boy, the scammers have come out of the woodwork for these. I will tell you the story on that later. I also listed up this yarn. This is the Ice Flamenco yarns. They can go as high as $6 or $7 a skein individually. I've had these for a long time. I actually bought them for my mom, and then she ended up not using them. I paid a lot for these back in the day, so I'm actually just listing these up on Facebook Marketplace for $20. It's 4 full skeins, 2 full over here, and a partial there. So somebody's going to get a deal on these. That's probably less than half of what I paid for these. So now let's talk about the scammers. The second person that I thought was coming to pick these up isn't going to be. The first thing I always do when people start texting me or messaging me through, it's not texting, it's really messaging through Facebook Messenger, is I check out their profiles. When I clicked on this particular profile, everything on the profile was in Russian. It was written in Russian, although the messages to me were in English, and they weren't, like broken English or anything like that. Not that that really matters. I understand there's lots of people that don't speak English that live here in the United States, and they may struggle with wanting to purchase things, and they're not good at typing. So it's not that makes me think that they're scammers, or the fact that they have a Russian, profile. I just look at it, just to see. But she said that her husband could come and pick these up between a particular time. She wanted to know my zip code. I'm like, okay, my zip code, but not my address. That was curious. How is he going to pick them up without knowing where to pick them up, or even if I wanted to meet him at the end of my street or anything like that? So that was my first thing that was like, oh, this looks like a scammer. The second message was, can I Zelle or Venmo you, the money, because my husband doesn't have a bank. She didn't say bank account. Doesn't have a bank is the way she said it. And I'm like, yeah, that's a no. So I immediately just said no. And then she comes back with, what about Cash App? If it's not one, it's another, right? I'm like, so I just said cash only. And of course they ghosted me. So the scammers absolutely came out of the woodwork the moment I put up my first item on Facebook Marketplace. And for all you new resellers out there, just beware of that. And this is true of any of the platforms. In fact, eBay has the same issue with scammers, and it's continuous. You just have to be on guard all the time. They constantly want to get you off platform. They want you to, contact them via, their cell phone or text messages. They want your cell phone number. Well, of course, they get it as soon as you would, click it, or they want you to click links. Absolutely do not do any of that. Keep yourself safe out there, and happy selling.